Hello there, you're most welcome to join me on my YouTube channel today. It's a really crisp, clear, sunny, wonderful day in June. We're experimenting with the 360 degree camera again, and we've taken off from Bolt Head Airfield, heading west initially and then turning left along the cliff tops here, where we'll be heading in an easterly direction. And the plan is to fly out to Start Point, around the corner, and then straight down the Torcross line to have a look at Hallsands, Beesands and Torcross before we conclude our journey round about Slapton Ley, which will be, I think you'll find quite interesting. It's a really good camera working type of day, and we're just coming out now over Bolt Head itself, and just down below there you can see Stairhole Bay, where the famous Hallsands Cecily was unfortunately drawn up there when it ran into problems, and then eventually, sadly, it sank. We're coming across the entrance to Salcombe Harbour. You can see it's quite an active day, quite a few powerboats out on the sea. And we're trundling along the coast now with the Garra Rock off to our left, which started life as a Coast Guard station, and we'll fly further around the corner, and the next sort of promontory is Prawle Point, which has the NCI Coast Guard lookout on, and it's the most southerly point of the whole of the UK. Prawle Point just coming up there in the far distance, and then we'll go round the corner, and of course then we've got East Prawle, and we'll go further along, have a look at Kate Bush's house, who lives down there on the coast sometimes, and then further along to Lanarcombe. But as we come round the corner here, East Prawle is up to the left there, and down below was an old radio station during the war, just down below the Coast Guard lookout. And we're just whistling along. Lanarcombe's now just off to the left. We're coming up around to Start Point, and once we reach Start Point, we'll hang a sharp left and then trundle on down the coast a bit to Hallsands, give you some idea what the fisher folk used to get up to down here in the bay. And once we get to Hallsands, not much left of Hallsands, the village itself now. As you'll appreciate, the whole village was devastated in a storm back in 1917, and all the inhabitants had to leave. There was around about 150 people living there, and about 40 houses. They all had to evacuate, and they pretty much lost everything, and they ended up living all over the place locally, and several people were able to go and stay with neighbours over at North Hallsands. And eventually they set up a trust. Was set up, and they built Fordsworth cottages, 16 cottages for local people. And these cottages, interestingly, at North Hallsands now are still retained and only available for local working people to rent, which is a fairly rare thing in this part of the world. As you can appreciate, most of the homes down here are second holiday homes, so they get let out throughout the summer and then sit empty during the winter. We're just coming up to Beesands, just down there on the left, and interestingly, just past Beesands, famous fishing village down here on our left-hand side is Beesands. And it's just past Beesands that Mr. Holdsworth's Beesands, and that's Beesands cellars down there. And just on the left there is the old quarry, which was active in the late 1800s and very early 1900s. And now we're coming along to Torcross, and the first beach there you can see is a beach called Cove, where Ken Small of Sherman Tank fame used to have his hotel. And now we're racing along Torcross Line. One of the more infamous pubs down there is the Start Bay Inn, who are, I would say, almost world renowned for their fish and chips. It really is excellent. And now we're racing along the Torcross, what they call the Torcross Line. Some people call it Slapton Sands, and this is where all the D-Day exercises took part in very early 1944, when they evacuated this complete area so the troops could train for D-Day, as the beaches here were very similar to some of the beaches they were going to have to deal with in Normandy. And we're just coming out of the cloud into some bright sunshine as we come to the end of our journey. Just down on the left there is the monument that was erected, and where the Royal Sands Hotel used to be, which sadly was blown up during the Second World War and never was to reappear again. We're just turning around briefly and heading back over Slapton Ley. And as I say, we'll conclude our journey here. And I really appreciate you coming along. And if you've stuck it this far, that's really brilliant. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one, trying out some more cameras, different ideas. Hope you enjoy it, and take the greatest of care. All the best. Cheers for now.